No, because the black is the weakest one. Yeah, the black is running out.
Maybe blue?
Yeah.
Blue's probably good.
Alright.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What's the easiest way to break something up? The easiest way to start breaking something up? Cut it in half. There you go. That's an ugly circle.
I said divide.
I can divide by 5. I'm not cutting it in half. So if you had said divide by 2, I would have been like, okay. But yes, cutting something in half is the easiest. Is that too big for you? Okay. It's the easiest way. Now, based on what we already know, what points or what values do we know? 90, which is
Pi over 2.
pi over 2. What else?
That's equal to pi.
270 equals 2 pi over
3 pi over
3
2.
pi over
And 360 equals 2 pi.
Okay. Now, we said the easiest way to cut things up is to do what with it?
Put it in half.
Now, if we just look at the top half, then we cut it in half. Now, what's halfway in between here?
45.
45. Now, this is 0. It starts at 0. Pi over 2. What's half of pi over 2? Pi over 4. Good.
Wait, what? If you divide it by 2.
Right, because if you take pi over 2 times 1/2, because dividing something by 2 is multiplying by a half, right? I'll get pi over 4. Okay? Now, 45 plus 45 is?
90.
90 plus 45 is? 135. Okay? 135 plus 45 is?
180.
180. 180 plus 45 is?
200.
What?
No, it's
225? You sure? Okay. Now, before I keep going, I want to get my radians. Okay? This was pi over 4, right? Using that denominator of 4, what was this?
pi over 2.
I said using a denominator of 4, this was 2 pi over 4, which reduces to pi over 2. This is what? 3 pi over 4. This is what?
No, 4 pi over 4.
Which is?
Pi.
Okay, this is?
5 pi over 4.
Okay, this is?
6 pi over 4.
Which reduces to?
3 pi over 4.
Okay, so let's go back to degrees. If I take 270 and add 45, what do I get? If I take 270 and add 45, 315. Now, if this was, what, this was 5 pi over 4, this was 6 pi over 4, this is, okay, good. That's that breakup. Now, I got to cut these pieces in half.
So there's going to be like power 8.
Equal 8.
Okay. Now, when we were doing the special triangles, remember, I always teach you, connect what you are learning now to what you already know. That's how you remember. Now, remember the special triangles, the special right triangles we were studying? Who remembers them? Raise your hand. What were they? Stop talking, yes. No. Who remembers the special?
He said a special right triangle.
Special right triangles. You don't remember them?
45, 45, 90, 30, 69.
Okay, so when we say right triangle, you don't have to say 90 because right triangle means 90 degrees. So it was 45, 45, and what?
30, 60.
30, 60. So remember those three numbers, 45, 30, and 60. They are in your unit circle. Okay? So, listen to me. I don't want to keep saying listen to me. When you are doing your 30s, you skip your 45s. When you're doing your 30s, you skip your 45s. When you're doing your 30s, you do what?
Skip your 45.
When do you skip your 45s?
Doing your 30.
What do you do when you're doing 30s?
Skip your 45.
When do you skip the 45s? All right. So, in between here, what do you think I'm going to have here?
Power 8.
No. Listen with degrees. What did I just talk about? What do you think is here? 30. Okay? Now, 30. When I add 30 more, what am I going to do at 45? Skip it. When I add 30 more, what do I get?
60.
When I add 30 more, what do I get?
90.
When I add 30 more, what do I get?
120.
What am I going to do with my 45s?
Get 50.
So when I add 30 to 120, what do I get? When I add 30, what do I get?
180.
When I add 30, what do I get? What do I do with my 45s?
Get
When I add 30 to 210, what do I get? When I add 30 to 240, I get. When I add 30, I get.
300.
What am I going to do with the 45? When I add 330, I get.
330.
And when I add 30 more, I get.
330.
Now that's as far as it's going to get broken up.
Oh, you can't break it up here?
That's as far as you're going to break it up. Can you break it up more? Yes. Do you want me to break it up more? No. Okay? Now,
Separate time.
excuse me. Now let's look at the radians for that. Okay. 30 is going to start with pi over 3. No, pi over 6, I'm sorry. Pi over 6. Okay? What am I doing with the 45s while I'm dealing with my 30s and 60s? Okay, so if I got 1 pi over 6, what is this?
2 powers.
Which turns into? Thank you. Okay? This was 2 pi over 6. This is 3 pi over 6, which turns into pi over 2. Okay? 120 is going to give me 2 pi over 3. 150 is going to give me 5 pi over 6. I could have kept going and then reduced, but let me just give it to you. 210 is 7 pi over 6. 240, everybody should be writing this down. 4 pi over 3. 300, 5 pi over 3. And 330 is 11 pi over 6. Now the 30s and the 60s go by pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, and so forth. Skipping the what?
45.
45s. Okay? That's it in general. Now the whole class period is going to